Welcome everyone. So we made it through our fourth annual Distributed SQL Summit. First off, a huge thank you to everyone out there that came today to continue to build that education, that momentum that we're seeing behind Distributed SQL. A specific shout out to all of our partners who came on board to present with us, our customers out there. We had some phenomenal names talking about their experience of using Distributed SQL in their environment. And then of course, all the Distributed SQL experts, the folks out there way smarter than I, that got into those technical level of details, ran workshops, helped us with training, and pulled together this content. A big thank you. I know it was a lot of content. I think we had over 1,500 minutes of content that we showed over the past eight hours or so. Lost track of time here a little bit, but it was a great day. If you missed any content, if you want to go back and catch up, don't worry. It'll all be available on replay very soon and ready for you to go. Now, I want to spend a few minutes here talking through some final takeaways of the day. And then, of course, what I know many of you are here for, and what we love to do is let's reward some of you out there with some amazing prizes. We've got a drone, we've got an Amazon gift card, and of course, if you saw our keynote, we have a Back to the Future themed Lego set to give away. So stay tuned. We'll get there in about 15 minutes. But in order to qualify, we're gonna have a few polls. Let's use this time just to kind of share some learnings from today. Anybody that votes in those polls will get entered in. I've got some great folks in the background here that'll be digging through that, and we'll pull some winners at random out of that. Now, like I said, this is our fourth annual Distributed SQL Summit, and the best yet. One of the things that we heard today, again, if you attended Karthik, our CTO, co-founder of Yugabyte, he had an amazing keynote that I encourage everyone to watch. And we had a great theme, a Back to the Future theme, the classic 80s movie, of course. Famous character in there, Doc Brown. As I kind of watched that keynote, this quote really stood out to me. At one point in the show, the first Back to the Future, the best, his quote was, "Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads." And it was an amazing quote that I think ties exactly to the world we're in with Distributed SQL. We're moving to a future with uncertainty. There's a lot of changes we heard about in that keynote. So the question is, how do we get best prepared for that? We're not always going to have a smooth road, a smooth path going forward. So we need to have an agile, a cloud native, a system underneath us supporting our applications that can handle whatever comes at it and navigate whatever that path is. So to me, this was perfect. And as we think through those takeaways from today, again, I think that notion of this uncertain future, Karthik hit on all these different variances that we have, this notion of applications that are small and large, different performance requirements. And those applications you build today that you expect to be the winners, the major use cases in the future may not be there. It may not quite be that way. So app 2 and 3, you may expect to grow, but really it's app 8 and 9 that see that magic take off. So how do you dynamically respond to all of that? That data infrastructure need matters. Another big takeaway I took away from today was just the enterprise momentum behind Distributed SQL. We had some amazing names. We heard from Fiserv. We heard from Charles Schwab. We heard from Wells Fargo. We heard from a number of customers that are from Kroger's and more that are really embracing this journey. Some have been on this journey for years, like Kroger, who's come back to talk about their continued evolution of Distributed SQL, and other vendors that are a little bit early on, starting down that path, realizing the benefits of, again, a cloud native, flexible architecture to support what they've already done in clouds and what they've done in applications. And then third, have to give a nod to all of those innovations we heard about. Just in the past year, if you look at all we've done, we've had 7 major releases of products. We've had 55 minor releases, over 1 a week of Yugabyte DB alone. And so all these new features, change data capture, we saw sessions on Voyager, our new data migration engine, and more. We're not expecting to slow down any there. I think the next year will be only more, but again, amazing innovations. If you missed any sessions talking through that, again, catch those replays, go listen, see the amazing demos that are out there. And then finally, I have to give a nod to the fact that, and kind of the fact that for anybody out there, you're not alone. We said 5,000, well over 5,000 people register for this event. So people from all around the world, all countries represented, a number of different types from developers to DBAs and more that were represented. So you're not on this journey alone. More and more people are hopping onto this bandwagon, and we expect next year to be even better. Now, I know Karthik closed and sent Doc Brown Back to the Future, but we think Marty still needs a little help. We still have some polls that we pushed out throughout today, and we'll have a few more that we want to ask you about. And it's those polls that are going to win you those prizes, so stay tuned. But I just wanted to show a few of the polls that came out from today that I thought were some interesting results. And of course, one of the most important ones, for someone that kind of grew up in the 80s, what's your favorite 80s movie? Back to the Future took off. Maybe it was a little biased there with our theme on it. There were some good shout outs in the chat. I realized I completely missed Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. I completely missed Terminator. So some great movies that were up there as well. We can have that discussion. Join our community Slack. We can debate it further. One other poll that really stood out to me is we kind of asked this about, as Karthik was talking about, just the fact that cloud outages aren't that uncommon. We need to build a data infrastructure. We need to build an environment that can handle that. It's becoming the norm, not something that we can handle just one off and do all the manual process of recovery. And just kind of ask the folks out there, I was curious to see how many of you have been impacted by an outage, major impact, minor impact, or so far avoided that. And was surprised by the fact that over 50% of you have already been impacted by a cloud outage. So I think this was a great support, a great testament to the fact that as you're thinking about your data infrastructure, as you're looking at database modernization, you need to choose those solutions that have that resiliency built in, that have that availability, that don't put the burden on you, on your developers to solve that. So great support for some of the storylines that we're talking about. And then of course, where are you on your distributed SQL journey? Just curious to see kind of who out there, where you're on that path. We welcome everyone out there that maybe this is their first time digging in, spending a few hours, a whole day to soak up distributed SQL, going through the training, the workshops, some of the sessions. So again, the majority of you kind of fell into that bucket, which is great to see. Again, supporting that momentum we keep seeing. And then folks getting ready for detailed evaluations, almost a quarter of you testing, evaluating already. So you're kind of going down that journey. And then of course, welcome to everybody that's already jumped on and is looking to just kind of expand and continue to build out. So with that, let's get to our first new poll. So I've got 4 polls here teed up for you. So first poll that should be out there on your screen today. What was your favorite DSS session today? Again, I know we had about 28 of these sessions, so I didn't list them all. I picked some of the ones that popped out to me. So let us know what you see. I'm going to just glance down here, bring in those results. So vote. Let us know what you think was the best session for you. I'll give it a few seconds here. Collecting votes. Oh, sorry. Okay. So flipping laptops. Okay. So the keynote, Karthik, again, seems to be the top of the list. And again, I think that he did a fantastic job of walking through what we're seeing. Now, let me jump to poll number 2. And again, jump in and answer. This is your chance to win your prizes. We're collecting these names now. Number 2, after today, or again, based on your experiences, how likely are you to recommend that others use distributed SQL? So very likely, somewhat likely, neutral, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely. We'll let those come in. So let's see, how does question number 2 look here? I like it. So heavy weighted at the top, very likely. Great to see. As you're going down this journey, though, as you continue to have questions, again, we've got a great community Slack community. Jump on there, ask questions, get comfortable with that journey as you're moving forward. And I think we have poll number 3 out there. Jump into that. What is your biggest database challenge today? Hitting scaling limits, complex replication, manual sharding, frustrated developers, or others. Looking at this, we're looking at scaling limits. I think in the early days, definitely scaling limits was one of those top challenges we saw. The number one issue you face as you face legacy databases, just that challenge in vertical scaling. A great conversation I had with a big financial recently was the fact that as you kind of increase your vertical scaling, you basically shift away from that strategy of buying commodity hardware, and you're really starting to buy purpose-built specific hardware, which has a very similar kind of back to the old monolithic days. So how do we get more and more commodity hardware, and really you need a distributed system to leverage those, bring them together without requiring those purpose-built expensive processors. And fourth and final, so want to close today thinking about what is your next step on the distributed SQL journey. So are you at a point where you just can continue to learn more and engage? Go to things like Yugabyte University, engage in the chat, continue to learn. We have local DSS days. I'll touch on them in a second, but you can get more very soon. Or again, in a few minutes, you can get out there and start using Yugabyte DB Managed, get a free access to your cloud and start operating it right away, engage more in depth with our teams on proof of concept, or hey, all of the above, you're fully on board and love distributed SQL. And on this one, all of the above, again, going back to grade school, if you were never quite sure what to pick, you pick all of the above, because that is always the right answer, and especially here. For those of you at the top one that wants to kind of continue to learn, again, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Tons of resources. The team has done an amazing job with Yugabyte University to keep you going. So with that, last poll, we're flying through this. I want to close with just one more plug. So again, today was our virtual DSS event. It was an opportunity for you, again, to go through all of these courses. You'll get a chance to see all these on replay. But again, for those of you that picked all of the above, that want to engage more, we'll be taking this on the road, and not this exact event. We'll have new content. Again, we'll be complementing, going to the next level with our regional events, hitting a number of cities in North America, EMEA, and kind of assessing what we'll do in the APJ region. But come meet with us, meet with the local teams. We'll have testimonials from customers there. We'll dig into more technical content. We'll give you a chance to get hands-on, and again, build on what we covered today. So take a look, reach out. Registration is open today, distributedsql.org. Go on there just like you did for this event, and you can sign up for those events. Now, do we have some names?
We do.
All right, so I'm looking at my helper here for here. So time for the swag. Do you want to announce, Braun? Come on in.
Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody, from behind the scenes here at DSS. So we have got 3 winners for some of our big prizes today. So we picked these from the poll results. We have just gone in and collected the data, and my helpers here have independently selected people. So the first winner for the drone is Justin Pompey. So Justin, we will be in touch with you. Congratulations. Our next winner is the $500 Amazon voucher. And that our winner is Shalini S. I don't have a surname, but Shalini, we will reach out and be in touch with you on that. And then lastly, the Back to the Future Lego set. So our winner there is Dave Scher. So we will also be in touch with you, Dave. So we'll post those names in the chat now as well, and reach out to all of you directly. Thanks,
awesome.
Michael.
Thanks, Braun. And Justin, with the drone, we want to see you fly over, show us your data center that you're using. And to Dave, once you build that Lego set, send us a picture. We'll have Karthik tweet it out. We'll make sure he sees it and ties it back to the keynote from today. So with that, again, a big thank you for everyone for joining us today. It's a pleasure to kind of engage with everybody on chat, to get a chance again to share updates on everything that we're doing over here. We're not done yet. It'll be an exciting year. Stay tuned, stay engaged with us, and we look forward to working with you all soon. Thank you so much.